Do I have lipstick on my teeth this time? No?
Yeah,
Ready? Did I on last time?
No.
Nobody told me? It's Jeremy's fault. I had jury duty. It's a whole cast of people walking around in jury duty. Hi everybody, and welcome to the Ask Ashley Assist show, where I talk to you about your networking tips and practical takeaways, things that bother me, and just random things that happen throughout the week that I'd like to talk about, including questions from you. It is Thanksgiving week. Dun dun dun! For all of you out there who are having a little bit of a panic attack before you go home and see your family, especially in this political and cultural climate, what can you do to manage that? Even better, what you can do to network during your Thanksgiving dinner. Thanksgiving is an emotionally infested clusterfuck of passive-aggressive interaction with family and that weird guy your mom brought back from her office. And God forbid you're Karen shopping at the mall on Black Friday. You deserve to have a Cabbage Patch Kid ripped from your arms. Remember that time you thought you're gonna start working out just before the holidays? You're thinking, okay, I've got goals to set, I've got people to meet, it's gonna be Christmas, it's gonna be Hanukkah, it's gonna be all the holidays. And then 14 days in, you're like, well, I'm gonna have to eat all of my Aunt Ruth's cupcakes. Speaking of cupcakes, something fancy to your next Thanksgiving dinner, especially to impress your mother-in-law and or cranky grandmother, make sure you bring Ruth's cupcakes because she's got booze in them. So as we're going through Thanksgiving dinner as your highs and lows, have you ever thought about networking during Thanksgiving dinner? I know, it's super weird because it's that weird uncle you have or that over passive-aggressive aunt that always wants to know when you're having kids. They may have connections that you're not familiar with, and it's the difference between a 50-cent ask and a $50 ask. The same thing when you've got clients. A $50 ask is going to your client and saying, hey, do you know of anybody that can utilize my services? But a 50-cent ask is saying, hey, I am interested in meeting these different types of people in these industries. Would you be comfortable making an introduction to somebody that you trust? Oh, and by the way, here's 3 sentences about what I do and who I'm looking to meet. As I was looking up content for today's episode, I came across one of the funniest articles I've ever seen on networking at Thanksgiving. This is written by Carlota Zimmerman. But here are some of the top 5 things that I took away that I'd like to talk about today. Here's a question. How much do you really know your family? How much do you really know what they do? Half the time when you go and see Uncle Ed or Aunt Ruth and you go around and you talk to them about the things that you're working on, how much do you really understand about what they do at work? You just know them as a family member. But if you take a moment to really get to know what they do, who they are, how does that translate into making a good introduction for you? Sometimes Uncle Bob will have connections with the CEO because they're cigar buddies. Sometimes Aunt Karen will have connections with the library that offers free workshops and webinars based off of things that you're looking to engage in. So make sure you make a thoughtful request. They are real people with real connections. So how are you going to mix and mingle with your relatives in a way that's intentional? Make a good impression. Go clean up the table. Help out your grandmother. Because if you're asking for that introduction, start recognizing how you're coming across. It may feel weird, but you have to step out of your comfort zone. If you think you're gonna walk up to strangers and ask for something without giving value first, it's not gonna work. So why would you do that with your family members? First of all, they know, they like, and they trust you. So asking for help should come a little bit easier. That resource for the article of networking at Thanksgiving in 5 steps will be put right in the description. So to recap, practice listening, the 50-cent ask versus the $50 ask, get out of your comfort zone, and be more intentional and do your research on your family members. Thank you everybody for watching the Ask Ashley Assist show. This is the Thanksgiving edition. Make sure you support our sponsor, Sport Fresh, that makes things smell less stinky. Not your body, but your bags. Make sure that if you're interested in purchasing Sport Fresh, that you use the link in the description. You get 25% off your first order. And thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next week.